Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and us tuning in online. There are friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We've been really spreading the news about those who have been getting vaccinated literally around the country, and we're so excited about the fact that now the FDA has approved for children 12 to 15 years old now to be able to qualify for the vaccine as well. With that being said, though, even though there is excitement, there are some parents and even caregivers who may have some questions and concerns about is the vaccine right for their child, when they should do it, and even why at this point is it something that they should do. Well, here to help us with that, we're excited to welcome pediatrician Dr. Estonna Wells-Jarrett to our program. We're going to talk to Dr. Wells-Jarrett not only about why it's important for children 12 years of age and up to be able to get the vaccine, but also the safety of it as well. Dr. Wells-Jarrett, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, my entire family, Dr. Wells-Jarrett, has gotten both doses of the vaccine, and I'm excited about this news now that my nephew is able to get it as well. We already have gotten him scheduled, but why is it so important for children over 12 years of age to get the vaccine at this point?
Well, it's important because students will now be going back to school in the fall, and I think they're going to have increased confidence as well as parents, knowing when they return to their school campus that they're protected from getting sick and spreading it to others. Students have missed, and I have lots of patients in Atlanta that just haven't felt comfortable going back to school even though campuses have opened up. They're now going to be able to participate in their activities that they have put aside and on hold because of the pandemic. And the other thing is it's just important because we want to decrease the number of cases and deaths in our country. You know, we've had over 31 million cases of COVID, and unfortunately over 500,000 people have died in our country. There's a lot of misunderstanding that kids don't really get that sick, but that's not really true. We've had over 1 million children between the ages of 12 and 17 that have tested positive for COVID, and a third of them have required hospitalizations, and some of them have also been admitted to the ICU. We also know that children with underlying medical conditions are going to be more vulnerable if they get infected. So it's important if your child has a history of asthma, if there's some obesity-related issues, certainly children with cardiac underlying conditions and even neurological conditions need to really get that vaccine. But the fun reason to get the vaccine is now we're going to be able to safely resume socializing with others that we've missed socializing with now that they've been vaccinated. And then now that travel is opening up, you can confidently plan trips and know that you can probably skip getting tested for COVID before you go on your trip and having to worry about quarantining once you get to your destination.
Those are all great incentives, Dr. Wells-Jarrett, for sure. But, I have to say, I don't have any children of my own, but I have been hearing some friends of mine who are parents, Dr. Wells-Jarrett, who have concerns about, is this something that is safe for children? They may have gotten the vaccine themselves, but they wonder about their children. What advice have you been giving to parents that you've been speaking with who may share that concern?
Certainly. Safety is always a concern. And so what I tell people is the vaccine is safe and, more importantly, it's effective. So this new age group that has now been opened up, that study with Pfizer had over 2,000 patients enrolled. They split the study equally. Half of those patients received placebo, and the other half actually received the vaccine. The half that received the vaccine, none of them became sickened with COVID, but 16 in the placebo group did. We also know that vaccine monitoring historically shows that side effects will generally occur 6 weeks after receiving the vaccine. The FDA was very clear. They have required each of the authorized study 8 weeks after the final dose. So I think we can pretty much feel safe. We've given well over 200 million doses of the vaccine, and we've not seen a lot of fatalities with that.
Well, that is really great news. So fortunate, Dr. Wells-Jarrett, when I got the Pfizer vaccine, I didn't experience really any side effects, not even a lot of fatigue. My mom, after her first dose, had some fatigue. So the side effects sometimes, are something that the adults have been worrying about. What about the side effects when it comes to children? Should they expect about the same type of side effects?
Yes. So what we've seen is side effects can be the same. A sore arm. Children generally aren't getting as flu-y with the fatigue and the fever, but that's not unexpected if it does occur. It does mean that your immune system is ramping up and working as it should. And I just want to say, if that happens, know that that is a short time, just 48 hours at the most. We need to look beyond the 48 hours and think of the long term for protecting yourself from an infection that could potentially be fatal for you, and we know what that looks like. So we want to look beyond the discomfort.
That is a really good point. Last thing I want to ask you about, Dr. Wells-Jarrett, and I think, this is, again, another concern for those who have children. They may be thinking about the other vaccinations and immunizations that they get. Should they be concerned about the timing that they get the vaccine rather than the other immunizations that the school may have?
Sure, and that has actually changed. A few weeks ago, the recommendations were to space the vaccines 2 weeks apart. But now the American Academy of Pediatrics and CDC just this week changed those recommendations and said that you can time your routine vaccines along with the COVID vaccine. So Don't hesitate to make your checkup, get caught up on your immunizations. We know a lot of people delayed those visits last year because of concerns of going into doctors' offices, but we are ready to get your child for school this fall. So come on in. We've got our vaccines.
Well, that is great news. So we definitely invite our audience to go ahead and make sure that they have scheduled their appointments. You guys can go to vaccines.gov for more information as well. Again, that's vaccines.gov. Again, our guest for this segment has been pediatrician Dr. Estonna Wells-Jarrett. Dr. Wells-Jarrett, I really appreciate all the valuable information you've shared with our audience today, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is definitely all ours, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.